December 12, 2016. As you're looking at satellite images of the top of our planet, it's just called the polar vortex or the Arctic vortex. Notice the temperature scales on the right. You get into blue, you're cold. Below that is white, then gray into black. There's a plunge coming into the United States, but I want you to notice where these areas are above Canada coming in that are dark and gray right now. As we go through this season, and I've warned people about this solar minimum and it getting colder, approaching a mini ice age. When you see those dark lines plunging into the United States, you think it's cold now. And guys, we are dangerously cold. I think 67 cities today have broke records for the coldest day it's so far the year in December. But again, notice the plunge coming down into the United States, and it's not going to get any better. During the solar minimum, the Arctic vortex is weakened. It doesn't have that dynamic energy from the sun coming in that keeps it tightly wrapped. And I'll show you the difference between now and last year. And when that happens, these vortices break apart and plunge. And the vortex is actually moving north towards Europe and west to the right, guys. And east to the right. And that is forcing the weather to change as the vortex expands and breaks apart like that. But these are the headlines today. Heavy snow warning, Iowa. Major snowstorms in Michigan. People are stuck on the interstates. They need to pay attention, guys. I know some travel they say is necessary, but when it's stopped, what point is it? Polar plunge ushers in the coldest air of the season. And when we go through these solar minimums, this changes. Notice the time last year, December 25th. They were calling the polar vortex strong and confined, and it was tightly wrapped. We had a longer cold winter, but we didn't have these extreme drops that we're starting to see now. And this is very important as you look at what the difference after the first of the year, as the El Nino was starting to wind down, it started to split apart. By mid-February of this year, we had stratospheric warming. That is because of solar minimum, and that is because gamma rays get in that the solar winds normally keep out. Why are cosmic rays intensifying? The main reason is the sun. Solar storm clouds, such as coronal mass ejections, sweep aside cosmic rays when they pass by Earth. During the solar maximum, CMEs are abundant and cosmic rays are held at bay. Now, however, the solar cycle is swinging towards minimum, allowing cosmic rays to return. Another reason could be the weakening of the Earth's magnetic field, which helps protect us from deep space radiation. They are one and the same. They're both tied to the solar minimums. But it says once a week, spaceweather.com and students of Earth-to-Sky calculus fly space weather balloons to the stratosphere. They're equipped with radiation sensors that detect cosmic rays. It says that not only, if you notice in the bottom, an increase of 12% since in 1 year, 2015, since 2015, guys, and it causes, they're linking cosmic rays with cardiac arrhythmias and sudden cardiac death in the general population. This increase, that's what we're seeing. Now look at the polar vortex. This year is weak and pulled all apart. And again, this year I've done a couple of videos about this mini ice age approaching. This started back in November 3rd. Weather Channel started noticing the shifting, weakening polar vortex could mean more cold spells for North America. Very important studies there, and it's got to do with exactly what we're talking about. Scientific American coming out with Temps plunged U.S. into deep freeze. This is today with snow for Las Vegas, and it says it's locked large areas of the U.S. into a deep freeze. Colder than average temperatures locked large swaths of the United States into a deep freeze Tuesday. Snow is likely in an unlikely place, Las Vegas. The National Weather Service said cold air pressure from the northern high plains would move south starting Tuesday, producing light snow and sleets over part of western Texas that would expand into parts of the southwest Tuesday and into Wednesday. Light rain is expected to develop over parts of Southern California and the desert southwest on Wednesday. Guys, they need it because of the drought. Many tourists who come to Las Vegas may be unprepared. Now, this is going to be nationwide, not just there, for the true winter-like conditions this storm could bring. Travel conditions will be difficult, if not impossible, on area roads. Vegas does not have snowplows, but the Nevada Department of Transportation said it has 6 that it can send there. The Las Vegas Convention Center and Visitors Authority is expecting 340,000 visitors for New Year's Eve. Guys, it could be a mess. Cold Arctic air will spread throughout the upper Midwest, where temperatures will fall 20 to 30 degrees below normal Tuesday. And Wednesday, producing light snow in some parts. Some places are getting record snow. The falling temperatures will be accompanied by dangerous wind chills, guys. Very dangerous, well below zero when this wind kicks in. And you saw how fast that vortex was, the vortex was plunging out of Canada into the United States. Now, this chart shows 400 years of sunspot observations. And the minimums, which is called the modern minimum on the left, 1650 to 1700s, was very low solar activity, hardly any sunspots. Then another dip in the 1800s called the Dalton minimum, and now we're coming down on the far right in the purple lines, guys, out of the modern maximum, and it's dropping very quickly. Look at these charts. Now, this is today on space weather. In 2009 at the bottom, there was 260 days that we had no sunspots. 2010, only 51 days. 2011, only 2 days without sunspots. And then 2012, 2013, we had no days without sunspots. 2014, 1. 2015, none. Now we've had 26 days so far this year with sunspots. So you can see that we're coming out of that maximum with 0 days being spotless. In other words, now we've had 26 days, and that's going to change next year. Without the help of El Nino in the Pacific Ocean, it's going to be even colder than this. Now, guys, I will link to the mini Ice Age videos that we've talked about, but go in and study the modern minimum and the Dalton minimum. Look at the history. Check out some of the photographs from that area. You better be prepared for this winter. This is a heads up. Be safe.